All right, we're live.
Let's do this.
So how are things?
Things are good,
Can you?
man. Things are good. A lot of
Excuse
a
me.
lot of hustle to make this focus box thing work. A lot of way more time spent on getting people to use the damn thing than anything
Right.
else. So interesting. It's like I almost have to like, be like, hey, dude, make sure you show up. Hey, dude,
Hmm.
make sure you show up. Like it's the most powerful productivity tool ever. They use it, right? And then they kind of are like, oh man, I need to get into it. I need to schedule it. And they keep spinning their cycles thinking I will get into it. So I almost have to be like, hey, here's the link. Go ahead. Go ahead, show up tomorrow. Go ahead, show up right now. Go ahead, show up right now. And then they'll show up and they're like, oh, I don't know why I didn't show up for the last few days. I don't know why I was not doing it for the last few days. I'm like, man, you're making my marketing effort so much more complicated just to get, just to, get people to keep coming back as frequently as I would like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting too, because like this week I've had just trouble getting motivated at all.
Mhm.
And so if my motivation's down, yeah.
You don't want to be on a focus block.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one because all you need to do is show up and
Yeah.
everything starts to work like that. You did do some blocks this week, right?
I did a couple. I didn't do as many as I wanted to. Like yesterday, I was so sick. I woke up and I was like, nope. And I was
Yeah.
done. Um, I did get a few in on Tuesday. I got one in on Monday, I think, and one on Thursday or Wednesday. I'll
How'd
probably
it
get
go?
some in today, but yeah, it's just they go great when I do them. But yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday was rough, and then my evenings got. I had some scheduled for the evening, and those got completely shanghaied. I had some other stuff come up that I had to be at. So
Yep. I know, man. It's almost like I have to train people to make this a part of their ritual.
yeah,
To just like instead of working on their own thing, they just need to show up for a focus bump and not
yeah,
wait for that perfect time to show up for a focus bump. Just show
yeah.
up whenever. Hmm?
Yeah. The other part of it though is just then picking out the right thing to work on for the focus block,
And
right?
that's so important because if you don't even know what's the right thing to work on, then you're definitely twiddling your
Yeah.
thumbs anyways at home. You're probably wasting your time, you're wasting your energy and spending all of that hour on something wasteful,
Yep.
right? Because if the clarity is not there as to what to you will work on,
Yeah.
then you're for sure gonna find yourself in trouble.
Yep. So yeah, there's kind of been this give and take on some of that stuff. Do I reach out to the people who have already expressed interest in the accelerator, or do I, put together more dev influencer stuff, or do I plan out what the topic should be for that, or should I, and so I've kind of worked through a lot of that, and
Mhm.
it's like, okay, well, I definitely need more people in, right? Because I've already reached out to all the people that have applied. So yeah, so then it's okay. Yeah, just planning that out and getting it done.
Mhm.
Right. And so it's okay.
Any
I need
any
to
new
plan the
calls over the
topics.
last week?
No, no, not over the last week. None this week. So I just need to
How many
just
applications came
really
through in the last 7 days?
um let me look. Two.
Two applications only.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 hits on the sales page.
Yeah, I can look that up too. The other issue though is just I have not been very motivated to work on stuff.
You have not been motivated to work on stuff because
I don't know. I think some of it's just that I'm frustrated with certain aspects of life, like full-time job.
yeah.
Just things like that. What I really need to do is I need to go back to, because I planned out what I needed to do. I know what I've got to do. I just need to suck it up and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
How are the sponsorships coming along?
Yeah, see, I haven't done a whole lot that way either. I've got one sponsor that's kind of hanging out there, but they hired a new chief marketing person, and so that stuff's had to go through a different approval process. So
How many hours of marketing and sales effort did you do last week? You know, I was going to ask you that question.
I did, and to be perfectly honest, yeah, not nearly enough.
What is not nearly enough?
Just
Number.
like probably like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that's the direct correlation.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, for most businesses, no marketing and sales effort, no money, or
Yeah.
direct correlation every single time.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. Yeah, I had 25 unique page views this last week.
Yeah, yeah. So 25 page views, maybe 10 or 5 put their name and email address in
What was that?
and 2 applied. Maybe 6 or
Yeah.
7 put their name and email address in.
Yeah, I didn't look at that. I need to go check that out too.
Yeah, the problem is like the numbers are small.
Yeah.
25 is a pretty small number. Are these
Yeah.
episodes still going on your main podcast, or are they only going on the Dev Influencer show?
They're only going on the Dev Influencer show. I need to actually get Michaela trained to put one of those episodes on the other shows every
Well, the
week.
thing is, you need to record good quality episodes that you
Yeah.
feel are good for your mass
No, I
podcast.
agree. I agree,
Because
but I
if it's
also need
going
to
to
be
Dev
putting them over
Influencers,
there.
nothing is happening there. That
Yeah.
podcast doesn't really get much. Like, how many? You're probably not even getting like 200 downloads a week on that, are you?
No, I'm not.
So that right there is a problem, right?
Yeah.
You're putting message out on a platform that doesn't have any reach,
Right.
and how do you expect people to even show up, or how do you expect large quantities of people to show up and pay you
Yeah.
money if you can't even if
No,
you're
it's
not
true.
putting the message out on your largest platforms? If
Yeah.
your
And
message is
when I
not being
was
heard by thousands of people, how can you get customers?
right. And when I was putting out the bonus episodes on the main feeds, yeah, I was getting quite a few more people coming over.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. So that's definitely a problem that
Yeah.
needs to be fixed.
Yep.
Or, I mean, you have to consider it a balance. I would much rather put out one high quality episode a week on all channels than try to put
Mm-hmm.
out like 2 to 3 mediocre quality episodes on dev influencers.
Right.
So
No,
one
that's
high
fair.
quality uh, um, piece of content, maybe it's 10, 20 minutes, very targeted, very specific outcome, very specific content, very
Right.
specific results, very specific whatever it is, and then getting that to drive the sales for you.
Mm-hmm. Nope,
So
I agree.
you have to get super strategic with your content that goes out into the
Yeah.
ears of people, especially the bonus content has to be very strategic. And do you have a call to action at the end of every episode, the normal episodes for
No,
your, why not?
I don't know.
I thought that's what you had done earlier. You had recorded those calls to action.
Oh, the pre-recorded ones. Yeah, I have that. I need to go re-record some of those and make
Are
them
they
more
going on
targeted.
every episode, those bumps?
They should be. I haven't listened to make sure that they are.
I have a feeling that they're probably not, because if you're only getting 25 hits on
Yeah.
the page in a week out of what, $20,000 this week across all your video channels, or more, maybe
Yeah.
even more, what would it be? More like 40,000?
It's probably closer to 30,000.
30,000. So let's just say 25,000. You're telling me
Mhm.
25,000 people listened and only 25 people showed up? Something is
Yeah.
wrong.
Yep. Yeah, I need to go check those calls to action, make sure they're going out, and then that B, that they're targeted enough to get people over.
Yeah, something is not right.
Yeah.
Mhm. 25,000 people listening shouldn't lead to.
Yeah, I do wonder a little bit though if like how many people really want these kinds of outcomes. I mean, I know that they're out there and they listen to the shows, but I'm wondering if
Mhm.
this is the outcome they want versus I think a lot of people they just want to be they just want to level up in their career. They don't necessarily want to go create a content channel. They don't want to, they want to make more money, but then if you start talking to them about creating a content channel, that's not the way that they want to do it, right? And so I'm
Mhm.
wondering if I turn around and adjust it a little bit, because a lot of people they either want to contribute to the community in other ways, or like some people that's what gets them. And I could do some targeted calls to action there where it's like, hey, look, we're going to get you to the point where you're contributing to the community in a meaningful way, and I think I could get people over. But I don't know if people are willing to pay to have me show them how to get that outcome. The other end of it is that a lot of people, yeah, they just want to level up in their career one way or the other, right? They just want a better position in their full-time job. They want a better um maybe they want a better full-time job. And so I'm wondering if I can target it that way. And so then instead of it being about, hey, let's get you a podcast and help you start making income off of your podcast, it's it's more of a, hey, let's help you build your skills and reputation so that you can get the job you want or get the promotion you want or get the raise you want.
Mhm. And what would be the vehicle to help them improve their skills and position?
Well, I mean, some of it would come down to content, right? I mean, there's just there's no way around, in my opinion, there's no
Mhm.
way around actually putting something out there that shows that you have the skills that people are looking for.
Mhm.
So if that's a podcast, that's a blog, if that's YouTube, I still think a podcast is the way to go there.
Mhm.
Um, but then the other angle on it would be, here's how you stay current, here's how you and this is stuff that I'm putting together anyway for the accelerator, but
Mhm.
it would have a little bit deeper focus there, right? Where it's, here's how you stay current, here's how you learn new things, here's how you talk about it, here's how you share it, right? So that you can build your reputation. But then instead of talking to them and saying, you know here's um yeah, instead of effectively saying, here's how you grow your audience so you can make money, instead it's, here's how you demonstrate your skills so that you can, when you go talk to your boss or this or that, right? Or when you go
Mhm.
try and get a new job, you can say, oh yeah, I talked about that on my podcast on this episode, and I talked about that thing that you asked me about on this other episode, and this is what I'm doing to keep learning and things like that, and find ways
So
to
here's
put
the
that stuff
thing.
on your resume.
It's like the vehicle that you're sharing isn't really anything clear compared to the podcast vehicle, which is a very clear vehicle to
Right.
name and fame and notoriety and everything, right? The podcast is a clear vehicle. Your challenge is not so much that those people aren't interested in this, but I feel because it's not possible that an audience of 100,000 people or 200,000 people who are listening to your show every month, there there has to be quite a substantial percentage of population that believes in what you're doing and they think that they also can do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so remember, it's an intersection of three things anytime you are going into any business: what you are good at, what you're passionate about, what you can be best at, what you're passionate, and what the market is willing to pay you for,
Right.
right? So you have to find that intersection of what the market is willing to pay you for and
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do, more or less. And if the market is like, unless the vehicle has a clear promise and end results, I'm not convinced that people will sign up for anything else per se, unless you can define that very clearly,
Right.
um, that vehicle and that end results. I am
Yeah.
not sure if it's the lack of marketing on your side that's not bringing in people versus the lack of people not being interested. Um,
That's fair.
this business is a game of like repetition,
Yeah.
getting behind something and repeating it to hell, more or less. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to get behind something. Remember, we did those market research calls back in the day. You
Mm-hmm.
were actually searching for what is it that people are looking for, and the answer you found was that people are looking for um, something like this, where they were looking for a
Right.
podcast to help them grow their business, right?
Yeah.
Or help them grow their career. And that's how you came up with the title and the subtitle and the everything else. So you went through the journey of looking for this. But yeah, maybe your offer isn't as clearly defined or it's not as appealing as
Mm-hmm.
you wanted it to be. And you need to go do some work on it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what or how much, but yeah, that might be
Yeah.
another thing.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Anyway.
Um, I you really need to look at um, your marketing and see if actually it's happening or not.
Yeah, I do. I
Because if
need
the
to go
marketing
back
is,
and just audit the whole thing.
yeah, because your team might not have done that. They might not have actually
Yeah.
been putting the links for it, sponsors, links.
Yeah, I'll check that today and make sure that it's all going in.
Okay, dude, I really don't like influences. I really don't like how many links you guys put out there on that on your show notes page. Not that I don't know how many people actually come to the show notes page, but way too many links there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we've always done it. So I don't know. I can hear you listening to the show, one of the shows.
Good. I'm trying to validate whether you're putting the How much is Cashfly paying you for this?
Sorry, say that again.
How much is Cashfly paying you for sponsorship?
My contract with them actually says I can't tell you that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, but the contract doesn't say that you can't have other sponsors on that.
It doesn't say I can't have other sponsors on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I only hear the Cashfly sponsorship there.
What was that?
I only heard the Cashfly sponsorship on that podcast on the end. I didn't hear your own sponsorship of influencers. No matter
Yeah,
what. Hmm?
I'm skipping through it to see if I can find it, but yeah,
Mhm.
I need to just double check that it's there. And
Who was tasked to do it? When was someone tasked to do it? Because it's entirely possible nobody actually has this on their
um,
docket.
yeah, I thought it was understood that it had to go in there, but yeah,
Yeah. And you have to constantly tune up your messaging, like
yeah,
constantly fine tune your messaging. You can't just have one bumper recorded that was
no,
recorded in January to still be working for you in July.
yeah, I recorded a handful of them, but yeah, I need to go back through them
Yeah.
and refine
Even if
them.
it
I
was three
need to redo
bumpers
them.
recorded in July, like you have to keep.
Yeah,
The thing is, I think here's the important lesson for everyone, for all of us as entrepreneurs, is the question between what will work versus what will I make work, right?
mm-hmm.
The space between, okay, I want to see what will work in the market, so I'm going to test different ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and that is one phase of business. And the other side of it is, I'm going to make this damn thing work because I
Yeah,
believe in it, right?
yeah,
A lot of times people get caught in this no man's land where they're thinking, I wonder if this is working or not working. And then they move to the next thing and they're like, I wonder if this is working or not working. And they move to the next thing and then they're like, I wonder if this is working or not working. The challenge with something like this is that once you have validated an idea, and once you have proven that people who are looking for that and they're willing to
mm-hmm.
pay, after that, anything, it is up to you to actually freaking take this to the masses and really make it work and really sell it.
Right,
That's a, it's, you have to at that point get behind the product and sell it, right?
right.
Once you believe in the product, the thing is, like, for example, with Focus Box right now, I believe in the damn product so much that I spend almost 80% of my time on marketing it because that's all I can actually think about all day long because I know it changes lives. Because I know I am so convinced that if anyone
Yeah,
does it,
but you, this is your entire thing. Like I have this anchor around my neck that sucks up all of my time and energy, and that's the real issue. Is that I am just so exhausted most of
maybe
the
it is.
time.
But you told me earlier in during the call that you're like, maybe I need to change this to another vehicle and all that stuff. And that's where I'm like worried because
No,
I'm thinking, oh,
I don't I don't think I need to change it to another vehicle. I think I need to change the focus of it a little bit. Effectively what you were telling me is, you need to refine your messaging. Yeah, that's what I need to do is I need to highlight the outcome that people are going to get, because the things that I was selling it on before, yeah, those are there, but it's not targeted enough, right?
mm-hmm,
It's not telling people exactly what they're going to get from it, in a way that actually appeals to them. And as I've talked to more people, I've kind of gotten a better idea of that, right? And so, I can put more emphasis in certain areas, like, hey, this will help you get where you want to go in your career, even if you're in a full-time job, right? Um, there are a couple of other things that I have in mind to do with this that I think will really make a difference. One of them is that I feel like I could actually reboot the freelancer show and essentially do episodes on how to market your freelance business, because I keep getting people that will sign up because they're freelance and they want to expand their client pool, right? And so it's things like that I'm looking at and saying, okay, this is in line with what I was telling people they would get before, but it's much more specific in the outcomes that they're going to get, right? And so effectively what I'm aiming at, I'm not going to change the mechanism, because I believe that I sincerely believe that podcasting is the answer for a lot of these folks. And to get them the outcome they want, if you're in a full-time job, it still comes down to having the skills, having the relationships, and having the recognition for what you can do, right? And so if I can make that point to people and say, hey, look, let's focus on this area where we're going to help you do these things so that you can either get the recognition that you need by the people you work with, or whether you're making relationships with the people who are going to help you get the job you want, or whether you're demonstrating expertise and skills in specific areas so that you can get whatever job you think you want. Those things are there. I haven't focused on that, but I have people that come to me and say, hey, I just want to move up in my career and get better known. And that's not really a concrete outcome I can give them, but I can talk to them about, hey, this is stuff that you can essentially parlay into a better job, a better position, a better setup,
so you
stuff like
told me a
that.
lot of stuff. You told me a lot of different things. What I'm looking for is exactly what we were talking about earlier, what you said, which was you need to boil your message down. You need to sharpen your message down to a precise argument for a very finely tuned message that it's like, I help blah, 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 get blah, blah, blah through blah, blah, blah.
Right. So it should be, I help freelancers get more clients through podcasting.
That is definitely a very precise outcome. That's more precise than whatever we have worked on in the past.
Right. But then do I just not float the rest of it? Right. I help course authors sell more courses by building reputation on a podcast.
Well, that's the thing, right? This is where you have to draw the line and answer for yourself. What is it that you feel the most congruent with? What do you feel the most empowered with? What do you feel like is like something you can truly help people get the results with? And people are coming to you for that. So it's a combination of what you can help people get the results with and what they're coming to you for.
Right.
Like what they are interested in, or what they want versus what you want, or what they want versus what you can give. And there's that intersection. That's a sweet spot. And that's where you will have.
But the thing is I feel like I can help all of these groups.
No. Don't worry about whether you can help. Think about the person you can help the most, and who you can help get the fastest results, the best results. Because you can help a lot of people, but if you try to help everyone, you actually help them. You end up at a point where you can help nobody, because nobody believes in, or nobody cares in the outcome you're promising, because it's so watered down.
Right. No, that makes sense.
So I don't know what that messaging is going to be for you, but your messaging will be has to be precision, has to be precise, and has to be repeated thousands of times in front of hundreds of thousands of people.
Okay.
So that means that messaging has to go out on all of your episodes as a bumper every single week, as an intro, as an outro. The thing is, what is happening, or at least from what I feel from this end, is you're not 100% behind this right now. 100% in the sense you're not completely behind it as much as you, even though you have very limited time. I get that part. I'm not going to take that away from you. I think you only have maybe 10 hours a week for your side projects and for your business stuff and all that stuff. And I get it. I'm not going to say you don't. I'm not going to say you have a lot more time. But you have to believe in this, and you have to get behind it like a maniac, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I hear you. And I think a lot of the hang up has been just, okay, do I focus on this group or that group or this group or the other group or whatever, right? And so I've kind of been chasing all of them. And then I
Pick one.
don't have that cohesive message around, hey, look, I'm gonna help, are you
Pick
in this
one.
position? I'm gonna help you get this, right?
Pick one. You don't
Yeah,
really lose anything by picking one, going
right.
with it, and then 2 or 3 months later you pick another one
Yeah.
and you test that one out.
Nope, I
Right?
agree. I
You can have
completely agree.
you can start messaging one. You can start putting all of your messaging out for one specific group of people,
Yep.
like tailoring it all the way. And then once you feel like you've exhausted that market, but you've already gotten like 4 or 5 people out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, your front end messaging doesn't really have to, like your front end messaging doesn't really define the back end offering. That's the key,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you can still bring all those freelancers in the same group as some other software developers who are
No, that's
also,
true.
right?
Yep.
But your messaging has to be precise enough that goes to these groups of audiences and talks to them and says, hey, do this, do that. Or I help freelancers get freelancing gigs using podcasts, or
Yep.
using by not only creating your own podcast, but also getting on other people's podcasts.
Yep.
Because that is another huge piece of the puzzle that
Yes, it
very few
is.
people talk about, which is just getting on other people's podcasts and using that as a way to build your authority rather than
Yep.
trying to build your own authority, your own platform. So you can tailor different messages. You just have to get behind one for a while.
Right. No, that's fair. That's totally fair.
One precise message for a while that you can help them with. And
Yeah.
see how it goes. Like if you just for a whole month you just talked about freelancer. And the month after that you talked about how I help career software developers grow
Mm-hmm.
and make more money in their jobs using podcasting. You get a
Right.
different set of people and they all come in. But the good thing is once they come in, they're
They're
all
in.
going to get the same knowledge.
Yep. Yep.
Because the knowledge doesn't change.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
this is where the challenge is in marketing. You can write
Mm-hmm.
messaging that is very precise for one audience and then lose our audience, or you can write messaging that actually cuts through the noise for both of them and gets both of them to take action. It's
Right.
possible. It's hard,
Yep.
but it's possible. And that's the
Nope.
challenge
That makes
of
sense.
marketing.
So I guess the other question that I have then is, let's say that I have, because I don't want to, well, maybe I do. So if I'm putting more than one message into the same podcast episode, I don't want it to just play the same one over and over, like in the middle and then at the end of the episode. I think if I repeat it, this week and the next week and then the week after, that's not so bad, right? But do I just vary the message for the same audience? So I do freelancers and freelancers.
I'm not clear.
So for example, let's say I have the mid-roll and the end of the episode spots open on an episode, right? So do I put two messages that target freelancers in? I mean, if I have one spot open, I just put one in, right? But if I have two spots open, do I just put different episodes or different freelance targeting messages in there?
Okay, yeah, you could.
Because I could also
What are
put
you
one
worried
in that
about?
targets the. Well, I guess I'm wondering, rather than put one in that targets the career people and one that targets the freelancers.
I would just go with one for a while.
Okay.
And go get after that, not to confuse the audience.
Yeah, fair.
Just get after that, and the month after you can just go after the next one. If you want to like bifurcate, if you want to kind of split the audience like that, if your messaging is not hitting clearly enough, anyone,
right?
You want to do that.
No, it makes sense.
The thing you said that I'm more interested in that I picked up on when you were talking about this is the idea that you're worried that you're repeating the message, right?
No, I'm not worried so much about that. And this is something I tell my sponsors too, is you I've never seen anyone repeat a message too often, right?
Yeah,
Because people have to hear it a bunch before they'll go take action on it.
absolutely.
So I'm not so worried about that. The question that I was really into was, if I have an extra spot, yeah, do I fill it with another message that targets the same group?
Well, you could if you have two different landing pages and two
Yeah,
different website,
yeah,
two different URLs, devinfluencers.com/freelancer,
and that
devinfluencers.com/developer,
mm-hmm.
right? Like
Fair.
two different
Yeah,
opt-in pages. And then you can just keep doing that. If you are a developer, you want to grow in your career and money, I can help
right,
you do that using the power of podcasting, whether you want to build your own podcast or you want to get on other people's podcast. Both of those are possible, and you can quickly rise up through the ranks
right.
of your software career by
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah, blah. If you're an entrepreneur, there are a lot of different
Yeah,
messaging here, right? Maybe you're a
yeah,
business owner, you have a software development agency, or maybe you're a business owner and you want to grow your business. I can help you grow your business through the power of podcasting.
okay,
If you want to add revenue to your business, come join. I can help you grow your business through the power of podcasting, and then see
right.
what happens there. And
Yep.
that's different ways to test the market and see which of those gets the most
Yeah, fair.
uptake, right? Once you this like if once you go triple head, like freelancers, software developers, and entrepreneurs, which are three different categories of people in some ways, you can say freelancers are entrepreneurs, but there is something different than entrepreneur who's, maybe they are content people, or maybe they are developer agencies, or
Right.
they're software businesses, or whatever. There's a lot of different kinds of entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
So you speak to the entrepreneur, maybe someone who's listening right now. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to grow your business and you feel, your message is getting buried in all the other noise out there,
Mm-hmm.
there's a powerful free medium that can get you to open the
Right.
biggest doors and build massive authority in the eyes of your target customers, and that is
Yep.
podcasting. And I can teach you how to um, start and grow your podcast to the point where your
Mm-hmm.
customers will find you rather than you having to find them. That will
Yep.
massively lower your costs of customer acquisition and lower your marketing costs. And not only that, it will position you as an authority and help you bring in new leads every single day for free.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I'm just riffing
Yeah.
off
But
just
that, yeah.
randomly,
But
but you
that's
can
the kind of
basically,
stuff that I get when I get specific.
right.
And I
And when
think
you
I think
go to
that's
the
part of the
freelancer,
issues. Yeah. But that's been part of the issue is I think I've been too general and the outcomes, right? It's make more money
I mean,
or
it's a good, I mean, what you had was a good, like, it's dev influencer, become an influencer as a developer and
yeah.
make more money or grow in your career and so on and so forth. Yeah, but it is possible that it's generic. It is possible that the message hasn't been heard by enough people and you haven't repeated
Yeah.
it enough for it to actually take hold. And you might actually be assuming that the problem is that you are, your offer is weak, but it might just
Yeah.
be that your offer is not reaching all.
Yeah, and that's fair too because when I was really getting people in, getting more traffic, more people in, it was when
Mm-hmm.
those episodes were going out as bonus episodes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Huh.
There is the
Okay.
answer.
Yeah.
Whether they're going out as bonus episodes and whether there are no bumps or like
Yeah.
intros and outros and mid rolls and all those things, that's all adding up.
Yeah.
You cannot forget marketing. You cannot just not do marketing and expect to get results. You can't just
Yeah.
have like 25 people hitting your
No,
application page
I
and
hear you
people
there, but
applying.
the issue was that we talked before about doing the bonus episodes and the dev influencer show. And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, well, why are you duplicating the effort? And so then I decided I was going to put just one of the dev influencers episodes into the feeds. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and it
if
should
I
go in
do
the
that,
feed.
if I do that, I need to be really specific about that and what's going in there and what, what's going to be in that episode, how it's going to go together, where the call to action is.
I would much rather like you spend 2 hours crafting one solid episode
Okay.
that goes across all of your platforms than spending like your cycles writing up 3 or creating 3 episodes for dev influencers, which are what's the total downloads for dev influencers this week? Can you give me a number? Can you look it up and tell me?
I can. My guess is that I mean last time I looked I was getting 40 or 50 downloads per episode, so it's really not that many.
Yeah, let's take a look again. And let this be a lesson for everyone who's listening. If your marketing is not reaching enough people, no matter what you do, you will feel like you're failing in that endeavor. Because just the fact that your marketing is not reaching enough people means that you don't have enough opportunities to sell, and that means you will think that your business is failing, but the truth is you're just not reaching enough people, and you need to go find new people and new audiences. Or
so it's 43, 44, 69.
In the last 1 week, how many downloads? Or up to this month, July, total downloads?
A couple hundred.
No, tell me the number. July.
Oh, I'd have to add it up.
Oh shit! It doesn't give you.
Oh no! Oh, I can click here. Yeah, July 226.
226 downloads for the month of July.
Yep.
And how many clicks did you get on your page? Maybe 50 total.
Maybe. I can change the date on there.
If that is any indicator of marketing, that's actually damn good. It's actually working. Yeah. I'm assuming that they're not coming from anywhere else.
Yeah, but
people,
don't know that.
Downloads. Yeah, we don't know that.
Those messages are going out, or I think they're going out on the other shows.
Yeah, so it's a combination, but Dev Influencers is the least potent of all of your marketing platforms. It's there right now just to build in the long term, but that should not be the primary focus of what you're trying to do. Your primary focus should be, unless you are talking about Dev Influencers in every damn podcast, unless you're talking about, hey, go download the latest episode of Dev Influencers, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I just started a new podcast. The thing is, unless you're talking about the podcast that is promoting your mastermind, or you're talking about the mastermind, one of those things has to happen for you to actually get any results from your marketing effort.
Yeah.
So I will challenge you to think more like not how you can do more, but how can the business do more. Right? So it's almost like you have to let go of the idea that, oh, I only have so much time away from my business. And you have to ask yourself, okay, even if I just had 1 hour, even if I had 0 hours, how can my business do more for me?
Right.
Right? If I had 0 hours to put into this, what could I do today to get more bang out of this, more results from this?
Yeah.
Because as soon as what's happening, and this happens all the time in entrepreneurs, we think, okay, how can I do more?
Right.
Right. And there's a big gap between how can I do more versus how can my business produce more. Totally different questions.
Yeah.
Totally different questions that create totally different answers. When you think, how can I do more? How can I hustle more? How can I create more? You say, okay, let me just record more Dev Influencer episodes.
Right.
But when you think, how can I get my business to do more? Now you have to think, okay, how can I reach the largest audience quickly and efficiently every single time?
Right.
If all I did was record really sharp messaging that goes into every intro and outro and mid-roll, and this took me like 2 hours of my time, but it'll pay off for the next 6 months, and it'll get into the ears of 1 million people over the next 6 months. Now that 2 hours of time spent is way, 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 way more effective than 2 hours of recording Dev Influencers podcast episodes. because they don't really do anything for you because there's only 50 people listening, 200 people listening so far this month. There'll be 500 people listening in the month of July compared to 1 million people listening.
Well, you're saying 500 people, but the reality is it's probably the same 40 or 50 people day after day or whatever.
So 500 downloads versus 1 million downloads. The scope of that is so huge. And the question that changes it all is to stop thinking, how can I do more? And start thinking, how can I get the business to do more?
Right.
How can I get the business to produce more? That is crucial. That is paramount to your success.
Right.
Because especially at this stage, like where you are with the limited time you have, you almost have to say, okay, my time is limited, but I can actually spend money that I'm making from the job to get shit done in my business. So I can get the business to do more without me having to do everything all the time.
Right. No, that makes sense. You
almost have to take yourself out of the equation and ask yourself, how can I get the business to do more with minimal effort on my part?
Right.
Right. The business is a game of leverage. And if you're pressing the wrong levers, you're getting very weak results as a result.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes we get caught up in the doing what we actually were doing last time, and we just keep doing the same thing because, we're not thinking way past that point. But that question, man, I really urge you to ask that question to yourself very often. How can I get the business to do more rather than thinking, how can I do more?
Right.
Because the answer to how can I do more is the road that never ends, the road that will always keep you tired. And
I'm already majorly burned out. So
right.
Yeah.
Because the question that you're asking is, how can I do more?
Yeah.
But as soon as you say, how can I get the business to do more, you will have different answers and you will create different kinds of.
Right.
You will do different, your activities will change or should change to reflect the fact that you're getting the business to do more and not trying to get yourself to do more.
Right. Nope, I agree.
I know I'm harping on this way too much, but seriously, like this is something that everyone needs to hear. Even I was like yesterday, I was on a call with my team members. We were reviewing some scripts for our book summaries. And these are book summaries, like these are mostly productivity book summaries that will go out on YouTube, like snippets of our productivity book summaries in the members area and so on and so forth. And I was reviewing the scripts and in a moment I thought, I actually don't need to, because I've constantly been asking myself, how can I get the business more? I'm like, I don't need to record these scripts. I have team members who can actually do that and who have that presence that I know that they will do a good job as well. Why am I tying myself up with something like this? Why don't I make our business free of my commitments like this and let that person record the scripts? So things like that, like, it's easy for me to say, okay, I'm going to write the scripts and I'm going to record the scripts and I'm going to do everything and I'm going to, blah, blah. But that for sure is going to keep me stuck.
Right. No, I can definitely see that.
You can almost like go back to the drawing board in your own business, look at everything and ask yourself, how can I get this to do more? Like list out all the activities you're doing right now and then ask the question, how can I get the business to do more? And instead of like compare, am I getting myself to do more or am I getting the business to do more?
Right.
Just list out all the activities, and every activity you have to answer the question, is this me doing more? Is this the business doing more?
Right. No, that makes total sense. And it just kind of got me thinking along the lines of, I mean, I could make for one, I could make sure that those messages are going into the episodes, but I could also make it so that the call out is more pronounced for people to click to get whatever benefit I'm promoting in the call out. I could, in those bonus episodes, I can tell my editor to, because he's smart enough to figure out where the killer points are being made. It's like, look, I want, 5 or 6 audio clips that I can use to promote on social media, and then I can have my social media person, create audiograms
Maybe,
and
maybe. You're just like, it's just becoming too much. I feel it might get out of control very quickly. I would much
right.
rather focus on just the few things that will truly move the dial. Like one of the things that yesterday, a few days
Yeah,
ago,
but the thing is that for me, all I have to do is make sure that bonus episode is together.
you think so, man. Like that's why it's important to just stick to a few things that work really
Mm-hmm.
well and let go of everything else. Like the whole audiogram thing and all that stuff. Yeah, it's great in theory, but you're much better off just focusing on getting your damn podcast to produce results for
Yeah.
you and optimizing that machine, right?
Right.
Because you got 100, 200, 300,000 downloads every month. You should be able to leverage the heck out of that for your own benefit, not
Mm-hmm.
just to sell sponsorship spots.
Right.
You should be able to literally be able to sell your own products and programs every single time.
Yeah.
And you're not doing
Well,
that right now because you,
yeah.
you might have other commitments and your time is being spread out. And that's why I'm saying if you just made it your mission to
Mm-hmm.
maximize your podcast, your 100,000, 200,000 downloads, to say, I need to get like 3 new customers or 4 new customers or blah, 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 20 new applications from my podcast every single, 5 new applications from my podcast every single week, something like that. You make a metric and you just chase it down. You
Yep.
stop worrying about Instagram and audiogram and all that crap. You just say, what can we do to fine tune this message to
Right.
improve on this? It's going out to 500, 100,000, 200,000 people or 100,000 downloads, 200,000 listens, right?
Yeah.
And how can I get into their ears, get into their heads, and get them to take action? If you just
Right.
focused on that and remove everything else from your mind, because the bane
Yeah.
of the bane of entrepreneurship can be the clutter of all the things. We think it's only this little thing, and we think it's only this little thing, and before we know it, we've got another mess created, and we have gotten
Right.
away from the original thing that was the most important.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll just focus on getting that message out on the
Yeah,
shows.
just focus on getting the message out on that on all your podcasts. Get basically your job is to get the messaging repeated there, like intro, outro, mid roll,
Mm-hmm.
every freaking episode that goes out right now through through your business,
Right.
everything, not just like from one, all of
Mm-hmm.
them. They have an intro, they have a mid roll, they have an outro.
Right.
That is yours every single time. You just put it out there. You just have to aggressively put it out there. And not only that, once a week is a bonus episode that goes out all, but it's very
Yep.
well done, very well defined, very orchestrated.
Right.
Yeah, maybe it also goes on Dev Influencers, and the Dev Influencers podcast over time picks up steam.
Mm-hmm.
But I would de-emphasize Dev Influencers podcast right now and go back to the big episodes, the big podcasts that actually are always
Right.
ready to bring you customers.
Yeah. Yep. I think you're right. I think I need to focus there and see if I can, because that was what was working. That was what was bringing people in. So
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what was working, and you went away from it for some reason. That I don't know what happened. Maybe it just kind of in the day-to-day of life, and we kind of got out of that mode, and it kind of slipped through the cracks.
I think between talking to you and just some of the other stuff that I was looking at, I thought that made more sense to go that way, but it's not working. So it was an experiment. It's not
I would have
delivering.
never
So
said. I would have never. I cannot believe I could. I would have said that. Hey, just do it on Dev Influencers and don't do it on your major podcast. There's no way in hell I would have approved of that
no, I
message.
don't think that's what you said, but I think overall, there was the idea that if I was putting out more messages and could get people to listen to them, that, that would make sense. And then I could build that audience over somewhere, over to the side while I was putting out the bonus episodes. And it's turned out that I haven't put out any bonus episodes in a couple of weeks, and that's made the difference. So I need to, and I've been trying to do both. And the reality is I just need to do the one that worked.
So for anyone who's listening, I hope you picked up on what's happening here. I think what happens is when you have a lot of things that you have on your plate, you lose sense of what is actually the most important versus what is the least important. And you end up kind of getting jumbled in all of this mess, and you start doing things thinking you're doing all the stuff. But in your case, you dropped the ball on the most important and you ran with the ball on the least important. And that like literally everything that we have talked about and everything that I talk about in marketing, like getting your audience, like getting that message out to the largest audience is always something that I would propose you do. Never say, just go back to the small audience. Like there's no way in hell I would do that. So it is entirely possible that we talked about different possibilities for you to grow that podcast, but not at the expense of forgetting to do what was the most important.
Yeah. No, I agree, but I'm just saying, I think we talked through that at one point, and I tried to do it along with everything else, and
yeah. And in that, along with everything else, the stuff that had the highest leverage just got lost. In the shuffle, and that's not what you want to do.
Nope.
All right, man. Let's do our thoughts, and I need to run now. I will say that in the game of business, and so in marketing, you have to find the points of highest leverage and really go hardcore on them, because it's really easy to do a lot of things and not find results. And after you, Chuck.
Yeah, for me, I think my thought is mostly just around, just sticking to what works, right?
Yeah.
And there's still some things that I'm figuring out about some of this, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's okay. I try doing this, not working, go back to what works.
Yeah, no, never lose sight of what's working is the key there. Double down, triple down on what's working. You can, if anything adds to it, that's different, but double, triple down on what's working. All right, guys, hope that was fun. And by the way, if anyone is interested and listening to this and they're like, all right, I want to grow my business, come check out, come apply for my coaching program, 2000books.com/grow.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right.